You deserve to be loved. You deserve to receive the same level of love that you give. I feel like I'm talking to people who are natural givers, that you know how to give love, but maybe not so much how to receive. Maybe you haven't quite received very much love from the people that you give to, and that can leave you feeling pretty exhausted, maybe a little resentful. That's totally natural. But that's what I want to talk about today. I'm in a handy dandy notebook. It's not a notebook, it's just notes. But I wanted to say that because my childhood. But okay, it is not a crime to expect to be loved, right? Like, the only crime is that we live in a world that is actively trying to suppress our ability to love and strip away our ability to love not only ourselves, but other people. Have you ever noticed how much there is a lack of love in the world? I'm sure that you have. It's it's a really sad thing. And it leaves people like us who desire that love, desire truly being seen and accepted. It leaves us feeling like there's something wrong with us, right? Or we're doing something wrong. At least that's how I felt. So I can only really talk from my own experience. Um, so yeah, let's talk about the ways that we might be. There's something on my lip, it's bothering me. Sorry. Let's talk about some of the ways that we may be like blocking our ability to receive love. And not saying that it is dependent on who you keep around you, but we're not talking about that right now. We're not talking about people who are unable to actually give love. We're just talking about our ability to openly accept and receive love, things that might be blocking us as people who are generally pretty selfless with our ability to give love and care and acceptance to others, right? Um, the first one on my list is the idea that we should love selflessly without the desire to get anything in return. And I feel like this is that like a teaching of Jesus? Oh, I found a crystal. Sorry. Is that like a teaching of Jesus? I'm not sure. I wasn't like raised like super Christian. I know some Bible stories, but yeah, so that is a nice idea. You know, we do want to be able to give love selflessly without needing it to be returned, you know, just giving from our heart. I definitely think that that is, you know, an important part of elevating ourselves as a human race. But, but, um, let us not pretend that receiving love is not a natural human need, okay? Think about when you were an infant or children. They need love literally for their brains to grow and develop properly. If they are neglected or denied love and care and attention, their brains literally don't develop, or they have a higher possibility of growing into a person with personality disorders or a plethora of other things that can just make life so sad and dark and miserable, right? Science, their studies. Children need love. So why do we pretend that when we grow up, like that just goes away, like as we become adults? I mean, you even see this as kids get like a little bit older, like the adults in their lives, teachers, you know, get like a little less look, I don't I maybe I shouldn't even go into that. I work with kids And just something that I've noticed is that there's like a little less patience as the kids get older. And even though, yes, they know more, they are still just as in need of tenderness and care. And I feel like that's given less and less as children start looking more and more like adults, right? So why do we think that adults don't need love too? If it was a need, a necessity as an infant, why would it not continue to be a necessity? Like, do we still need to eat? Do we still need to drink water? Like, those things carry forward. So why do we assume that like we need love less when we're older, right? Um, that's going to lead me into loving yourself, right? So a lot of us are on a journey of self love and self compassion, and that is a beautiful thing, right? And I mean, some of us who are on the more spiritual side, like sometimes you can feel love from the universe, from your guides and ancestors, if you're more connected to the higher realms. And that is a wonderful thing, right? But that doesn't negate the fact that we may still desire to be loved by other human beings. And that doesn't mean that you are ungrateful, from the love of ungrateful for the love from the divine. And that doesn't mean that you're failing at loving yourself. There's never going to be some perfect pinnacle of self love where you just don't need anybody ever again. Like, yes, we should be able to fill our own cups, but like the desire to be loved by others is not going to disappear just because you love yourself. You can love the hell out of yourself, and it is still okay to want to be loved by other people. Like, I don't want you to think that there's something wrong with you or that you need to continue to keep pushing like you don't love yourself enough. It is natural to want to be loved by other people. We are living in a human existence right now, right? What do humans need? We need each other. We need community. We need to feel seen and appreciated for who we are, like at our core, in our soul, in our being. And that is as natural as breathing. So you cannot love yourself into never needing or desiring love from other people. That's fiction. And if you think that you can, I would consider checking in with your heart space. There might be some blockages due to some fear of possibly receiving love, especially if you've been hurt and betrayed in the past. That can put a block on your heart. It's easy to feel like, you know what, I'll never trust anybody again. I don't need anybody ever again. But like that's just denying a natural part that is existing inside of you, and we don't want to detract or suppress any aspect of ourselves. Because and I've said this before, if we're suppressing any part of ourselves, then that means we're suppressing all of us. We have to be able to give ourselves the space to be every single aspect, every part of ourself needs to feel safe to exist for the whole of us to feel safe to exist, right? Um, let's see. Oh, and I do just want to make a note that I don't just mean romantic love. I mean, totally fine if like you desire romantic love. I think that is also natural for some, unless you're like on the aromantic spectrum and that's just not something that computes for you. I get it. But for the most part, like that's totally fine if you want romantic love. But there's so many other types of love. You can crave like a parental love that you never received. You can crave love from platonic friendships that are just deep and nurturing, where you fully see, where you fully feel seen by the people around you, where there's a reciprocal give and take of energy and an exchange, an equal exchange. There's so many different types of love, and it's just a shame that we have one word to describe so many different experiences. Having one word for love just doesn't make sense when there's so many different types of love. And this is how people can get confused about love and what love looks like, you know? All right. I just want to close with telling you that, oh, well, I feel like I've actually said this a bunch of times, but I'm going to drive it home anyway. Your desire to be loved is completely natural. I personally think that it comes from our deepest core of our soul, of our spirit that knows that we were created from love, that the core of us is love. The core of the universe is love. And understanding that fact makes you have an inherent knowing that you deserve to have love in your life. And I've said this too already. Being in a human form means that we have these human needs. So it's going to come up. Your soul knows that you are perfectly worthy of all of the love in the universe because you were born from all of the love of the universe, right? So that inner knowing is what is making you feel this desire. Okay. So don't ever talk down on your desire to be loved, okay? If you're ever feeling like, I feel like, I don't know, there's a possibility you might sometimes think when you're in that feeling of like, ugh, wishing that somebody could recognize all of you and love all of you, you might think like, no, I should be able to love myself, or I should be content with what I have. You know, allow yourself to feel this way. Just hold yourself through it. Let yourself know that it's all right. It's all right that you feel this way. And you feel this way because you know in your heart of hearts that you are worthy and deserving of love like everybody else on this planet is. Hold yourself through it, breathe through it, and the love is going to come. It will. The more that we release these ideas that we should not be desiring love, the more that we allow ourselves to open up to receiving love. Because if we feel like we shouldn't want love, then that's a part of us that is essentially saying that we should just deny love altogether. We shouldn't want it, but we we do. We do, because we know deep down, our soul knows that we're worth it. You're worth it. I'm worth it. We're all worth it. So yeah, I'm sending you so much love from me to you. How's that? Is that a good heart? All right, that's all I have. How long's the video? Not too long. I did it, guys. Trying to keep them a little under 20 minutes. All right, no, I should leave. Bye.